Hey guys, welcome back to Embers and Ash. My name's Ashley, if you didn't know, and today we're going to talk all about my first trimester, do a little recap. I feel like if you're not following the podcast, you have no idea what's going on. So I thought I would recap the first trimester for you. I am 12 weeks, so technically you're not in the second trimester till 13 weeks, but here we are, doing it anyways. And I'm starting to feel like myself again, so I feel like I'm over the hump of the first trimester. So I'll go through everything, and then you guys also had a couple questions on Instagram, so I will respond to those. Unless I respond to them as I'm going, we'll see. So first of all, let's talk about symptoms. I have been dealing with every symptom under the sun, it feels like. I'm sure there's some I don't have, but especially compared to last pregnancy, I have way more. Still out of breath right now, but that was a big one for me. Didn't experience that last time. I got the whole smells being different, and that was weird and cool that I got to experience it, because it is very strange where things just smell different and your whole world is rocked in a way. Not your whole world, but it's weird that one of your senses changes. That doesn't normally happen, you know? So things that smell bad smelled way worse. Certain things just smelled different, just a lot stronger. So that was weird. Very emotional. I've been dealing with a lot of emotion. It's a little bit better now that my hormones have regulated, but well, they're not really regulated, but you come down from a spike of, I think it's I'm producing all the hormones for the baby until the placenta does. So you're really going wild in that first trimester, and everything would set me off. I would be playing Disney music videos for Rook, and not even in the context of the movie, and I would want to cry over the storyline. Or little things setting me off, getting very relatively angry in comparison to what the thing actually was, but at least I could recognize that something was off, and I would just kind of separate myself from the situation and be like, hey, I'm gonna go cool down over here and just rest until I get over it, so that wasn't great. The sickness really wasn't that bad, and definitely not worse than last pregnancy. I puked I think 3 times last pregnancy, haven't puked this time. I think because I'm more in control of my situation this time, because last time I was working and driving a lot from location to location, so I'd get really car sick, or I was in a meeting and didn't have food that I could snack on, so I'd have to run to the bathroom and puke. Yeah, I think all my pukes were at work, now that I'm thinking about it. This time, if I started to feel nauseous, I could eat something. A lot of my nausea also came from being low on sleep, which is weird. So really trying to prioritize naps during Rook's naps, because that's the only time you can nap. I'm kind of past that now. I'm definitely past that now, which is nice. I'm still okay. So my biggest symptom is the fatigue. Jeez, man. Last pregnancy, I don't think I napped once in the first trimester. This time, I could nap every day if I wanted to, or if I could. I'm kind of getting out of it where if I'm not doing too much running around during the morning, then I don't need to nap during Rook's nap, but any other situation and I get exhausted. I don't remember if I mentioned on YouTube, but I put Rook in swim lessons, and the days that he has swim lessons, I get so wiped, I've run a marathon, very tired. So that's been really annoying. It definitely isn't as bad as morning sickness, but with a toddler, it's so hard, having to be so out of it, so exhausted. All you need is 15 minutes of sleep, and you can't because they're running around. Back to the nausea though, it was really just it wasn't just in the morning, but it was like morning, afternoon at first. And as long as I was on top of my meals, eating breakfast, lunch, and snacks, I could kind of keep it away, unless it was one of those sleep-related things. But then near the end of the first trimester, it turned into evening sickness, which I kind of prefer because it was more predictable. And Josh was home, so I could go take a nap. But then also that meant that ate into my time with Josh. So it's been hard feeling like I can't not work on our relationship, but like have a relationship, because he would come home from work and I would go sleep for like an hour, and then we'd put Rook to bed or like eat dinner at some point. And then it's like 8:30 and I'm ready for bedtime again. So that was one of the biggest struggles, was me just being too out of energy to be anything but a shell most of the time. And that resulting in not getting to enjoy my husband and vice versa. Josh missed me, like me being a real person. So I'm very thankful to be out of that. I haven't been napping in the evening at all lately. It's usually just around 12 o'clock if I need it. But yeah, the sickness has mostly gone away. I feel it a little bit in the morning until I get literally anything in me. If it's water or snacks or coffee, then I'm good. Yeah, so that's nice. And I'm very, very thankful that the nausea wasn't worse than last time, because people can get very, very sick in their first trimester. Something else that happened was I had spotting at 7 weeks, which, you know, I don't think you can not worry when that happens, but I have heard multiple times that it's fairly normal to spot. It was very light. It wasn't heavy and dark red or anything. Brought it up with my midwife. No problem. And specifically I looked up like weeks 6 and 7 are the most common times to spot, so that was fine. Didn't happen last time, so that's why I was a little nervous, but it was all good. Oh, another symptom I've been having is what I'm trying to say. Such vivid dreams. Again, didn't have this last time. Very prevalent this time. So realistic. They've calmed down a little bit, but they were like every night kind of thing. And so emotionally exhausting that I would wake up extra tired from it. So that's not my favorite either. I would rather just like not dream and just sleep and wake up. But they, like I said, they've kind of chilled out since. Yeah, I think those are my symptoms that I can remember right now anyways. Some of you were asking about balancing a toddler and pregnancy. That was also one of my biggest worries. And it's not easy. It really is not easy. Especially, like I said, with the fatigue. Some mornings, like Rook was waking up at 6 o'clock some days, and that just doesn't work with my pregnant body. And I would just be on the couch like wanting to cry, being like, I just need to sleep. I can't. And like Rook would do the littlest thing that he's not allowed to, and I would just break down, like just know I didn't have it in me to handle anything. I just needed sleep. So that was really hard. Rook his diet has been not great. Not horrible, not great, because I've been snacking so much, so obviously he wants to snack as well. So it is what it is. What do you expect, right? My diet hasn't been great. All about the carbs, a very common thing in your first trimester. And I hate how obsessive you get over food. Like, I see someone with pizza on Instagram and I need it now. Like, I can't stop thinking about it. It makes me sad that I don't have it. And I'm so over that feeling. Like, I want to just be able to eat normal food, eat what we have, not care so much. Like, obviously still eat fun things every once in a while, but like, I'm so over being obsessed with food. It just drives me nuts. But yeah, the toddler thing is really difficult, but it's better now. Easing out of the first trimester, it's been a lot easier. Yeah, so I'm excited for the second. I also had my ultrasound as you can expect. It was at 10 weeks and it was okay. It was nice, like getting to see the baby, especially because I've had like the emotional turmoil over this pregnancy. It was nice to see the baby and be like, oh yeah, like there's a real child in there. And I got to see the heartbeat. They didn't let me hear the heartbeat. I didn't ask, but it just like didn't happen. And then my last midwife appointment, it was still too early to easily find it. So like she said she heard it for a second, but I didn't get to hear it, but I saw it on the ultrasound, so like I wasn't worried. So next appointment in like a couple weeks I'll get to hear it, so that'll be really nice. As for how I'm doing mentally, a lot better. Again, if you've listened to the podcast, you will get the whole progression of my mental roller coaster. But yeah, I'm really excited for another child, another personality. I'm really getting there. I don't want the baby right now, like don't be crazy, but I'm excited for, I'm not excited for a newborn and a toddler. Let's get that straight. I'm excited for like a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old and onwards. I still have a lot of fears, and I talked about this in the podcast. I don't think they're going away until I actually am in it and we see how it goes. But a newborn and a toddler sounds horrible. But it is what it is, and we just get through it so that we can enjoy the life we've built afterwards. I just feel like once the kids are on the same schedule, eating the same foods, it'll be a lot easier. I'm sure also once like the baby is sleeping through the night, that'll help a lot. But I am learning that I can be both scared and excited, because I'm excited for the things that are separate from the things that I'm scared of, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's been a bit of a wild ride and very interesting having a different time processing this pregnancy compared to last time, where I was so excited. I wanted the baby immediately, didn't want to wait any longer. And it's nice kind of getting to take it easy and enjoy these months that I have before the second baby comes. I'll show you my bump. It's kind of like, it grew really fast and then it slowed down, and it's kind of stopped growing right now. Oh my gosh, I don't think you can even see it. You can't even see it in this sweater. Sorry. It's like kind of there. Well, it is there, but depending on the clothing, you know? Okay, on to your questions. Anything you're doing specifically for your mental health, just taking it as it comes. Like, I knew that I just needed time to process, and that by the time the baby comes, I'm gonna be ready. So just not being too hard on myself, and in those first specifically 2 weeks from finding out, really letting myself feel the emotions, the sadness of losing, more of my independence, of losing this period of being a first-time mom with my first child, really allowing myself to feel those feelings and being patient as I grew out of them. How are you entertaining a toddler while exhausted? Great question. Toy rotations, snacks, getting him out of the house to get him tired. I don't do that all the time, but it helps a lot because then he's not so like high energy. Really intentional time with him throughout the day, because I feel like he acts out when I've been ignoring him too much, because he just wants that attention. Yeah, and then just, he's not a TV kid. I would put on TV if it helped him, but he doesn't really care for it. He really likes music, but that doesn't like keep him entertained. He just likes hearing it, you know. Gut feeling on girl or boy. I think I talked about this in my pregnancy announcement. No. Oh, in my other Q&A. I still feel like it's a girl, but I also feel like feelings don't mean anything. I just can't wrap my head around like mom's intuition actually somehow being right about it. You know, like, where's the science? I don't know. Last time I felt like I was having a boy, but I also really wanted a boy. This time I want another boy, but I feel like it's a girl, but I have no reasoning behind it. Did Josh have a similar experience to you, having a hard time accepting this pregnancy? Yeah, it was a real surprise to both of us. He, I think, dealt with it better because it doesn't have as many impacts on his life as it does mine. It obviously impacts his life hugely, but he still goes to work every day, and that's the same. But my time at home, my 8 hours at home every day is going to drastically change. So I think that's why he got through it, because a lot of my turmoil was that losing independence, losing myself, those kind of things. Did your bump become noticeable quicker this pregnancy or with Rook? Definitely this time. Again, I'm not huge, but I didn't have any bump until I think like 15 weeks, 16 weeks last time. Okay, I think those are all the questions. Everything else, pretty sure I touched on. That was my first trimester recap. Again, if you want the details, check out the podcast. It's been a long trimester. Emotionally, a long trimester. But I'm so excited for the second trimester. The third we're not thinking about, but the second is gonna be great. So thanks for following along in this pregnancy. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye.